Honestly, we need to talk about Kobbie Mainoo. Last season, he was the hope, the one bright spark in the middle of a chaotic season. But now, something feels off, something's not clicking, and it's not just form. There's something deeper here. How we've handled him, how we've developed him, and even the system he's being asked to fit into. And if you stick around, there's one theory about Manchester United that no one's really talking about. But it might explain why some of our most talented ballers just stopped looking like themselves. Let's get into it. Let's not forget what happened last season. Kobbie Mainoo was just 18 and ended up playing 33 games across all competitions for Manchester United. That is wild, especially for a player coming back from a serious injury in pre-season. He wasn't supposed to be the guy we relied on every week. But Mount got injured, Casemiro dropped off a cliff, Eriksen couldn't move. So suddenly Kobbie was the only midfielder who could actually pass forward and receive under pressure. But let's be honest, that's a massive responsibility for a teenager in one of the most toxic and dysfunctional clubs in Europe. He wasn't just playing, he was carrying the midfield. And no matter how talented you are, that takes a toll. Now fast forward to this season under Amorim, and you're seeing the consequences. Kobbie looks flat, tired, confused in possession, slower off the ball. And it's not just a mental dip, it's physical too, because people don't realize how many minutes that kid logged last season. He wasn't eased in, he was thrown into a war zone every week. We cooked him. And it's not about ability, it's about load management. Any elite academy will tell you, developing a young midfielder is about building rhythm and rest. But Kobbie didn't get that. United treated him like a 28-year-old prime midfielder, and now we're seeing the cost. Now here's where it gets complicated. Amorim plays a 3-4-3, and in that system, the midfield two need legs, energy, aggression. Think Ugarte and Morita at Sporting. Mainoo doesn't fit that mold. He's press resistant, yeah, but he's not a destroyer. He doesn't cover mad ground, so if we're being honest, he doesn't look like a natural fit in the pivot. Now some might say, but he played as a number 10 in the academy, so maybe that's his spot. And sure, he can attack the box and link play wide. He has the vision and technical skill. The problem is, Amorim's version of the number 10 is more dynamic. He wants his 10s to not only create, but also carry the ball forward aggressively, pressing high and driving the team in transition. Mainoo isn't quite that explosive or direct yet, so even as a number 10, it's not clear he fits perfectly into what Amorim demands. So what do we do with him? That's the million-pound question. Some people are saying we should loan him out. Some, even more wild, are saying we should sell him. Nah, that's nonsense. He's just turned 20, still developing, and a player like him doesn't need to start every week. He needs to be managed properly, developed, put alongside the right players. Guys like Kuna, who's experienced and athletic and can take the creative burden off him. That's how you build a player like Mainoo. And this is where it gets deeper, because there's a pattern with Manchester United. We bring in or develop these players who are silky, technical, talented, and suddenly they start looking heavier, slower, less agile. Think Pogba, think Marshall, even Rashford to an extent. Now, I'm not saying anything mad, but ask yourself, are we over-conditioning these guys? Are we putting too much emphasis on strength, size, bulk, and killing what made them special in the first place? With Mainoo, you can already see subtle changes. He looks a bit heavier, less fluid in the turn, slower across short distances. That agility we saw in his first few games, it's not gone, but it's dulled. I'm not saying it's deliberate, but I'm saying it's a trend. Let's not forget the environment either. Playing for Manchester United at 20 years old is not the same as playing for Brighton or Sporting or even Arsenal. This is a club where every pass gets judged, every bad game becomes a headline. You make one mistake and people are tweeting your name with clown emojis. We're asking these kids to carry the club, and when they don't, we turn on them. That's not how you build stars, that's how you break them. And here's the biggest L, there's no real development plan at United. Other clubs protect their young talent, manage their game time, give them tactical clarity. United? We just throw them in and hope for the best. Mainoo should be rotating, coming off the bench, starting in cup games, learning from older midfielders, but instead we rushed him, relied on him, and now we're confused that he looks cooked. The reality is, Kobbie Mainoo is still a top prospect, but talent doesn't survive on its own. You need to protect it, coach it, build a system that fits it, and so far, we've done none of that. If we keep going like this, we're going to lose one of the best midfield talents this country has produced in years. So what now? If he's going to survive at United, it has to be in one of those 10 roles. He doesn't have the legs for the pivot, not in this system, but maybe with the right coaching and right profile around him, he can become more of a final third operator, a hybrid 10 who controls tempo and links play. But it'll take work, it'll take time, and it'll take a proper plan, because right now, we're just freestyling. Mainoo shouldn't be starting 40 games a season. He shouldn't be looked at as the savior. He should be developing, he should be learning, he should be protected. But this is Manchester United. We don't do long term, we just react. And if we're not careful, we're going to turn another gem into a memory.